Hello everybody and welcome to, I don't even fucking, we're on episode like 110, 111, something like that, of Press the Action Button podcast, or the Doom Dog now, I guess, YouTube channel, because I switched over to something else. As always, I am your host, Josh, and with me is a good friend, Eric. Say hello.
Hello, I have pizza rolls, and you probably don't, so I'm winning right now.
Well, I just had Chinese, so...
It's not pizza rolls, man.
No, but it was good. It was orange chicken.
Alright, we'll do
that. We know what we haven't done in a long time? A fucking news episode. Let's do that.
Sounds good.
I mean, like, literally, apart from the E3 episodes, we haven't done another news episode besides those in literally years.
It has been a while. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I want to start off by talking about Far Cry 5 just recently came out, and a whole bunch of left-wing journalists, and I don't want to get too deeply into the politics of this, but a whole bunch of left-wing journalists seem to be very angry at it for not being the game that they wanted it to be, essentially. They want it to be about Trump and gun owners and conservatives. And it's not about Trump or gun owners or conservatives. And they're pissed off about it. And they're like, docking point. Like, I read Polygon. Did you read Polygon's review on it?
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
It was... Yeah. It's an awful excuse for a video game review. It doesn't read like a video game review. I had to stop reading because I was sitting there like, this is fucking stupid. What are you rambling about? It read more like a poorly informed political opinion piece than it did an actual video game review. And it was because the guy kept complaining about how this game isn't about Trump. So... why did they ever think this game was going to be about Trump?
I don't know, and like a lot of the things, because there's like a GameSpot video where like these guys are they're talking about their experiences with it. It's real stupid, and they're just kind of complaining that, you know, it's not what they were hoping it would be as far as, you know, tackling this issue or that issue or talking about this. Yeah, but yet it's a video game where you're going to go around and you're going to kill 70 billion people in hilarious and brutal ways. I mean, and that's okay. You know, they can use flamethrowers and run people down and sick the bear on them and shit. And that doesn't make them uncomfortable, but then one character is like kind of the typical caricature of what you think, you know, certain voters are. And that makes them uncomfortable. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that they seem to be extremely uncomfortable because one character uses the phrase Obama-loving libtard. Okay.
But it's a phrase, like, but then 2 seconds later, you know, you're shooting helicopters out of the sky and you're using flamethrowers on groups of people in cars. I just don't see where the, you know... it's kind of weird what you pick and choose to be offended about.
Yeah. Colin Moriarty, who used to be on Kind of Funny Games.
Kind of Funny, yeah. Plug for Kind of Funny.
Yeah, he does his own show now called Colin's Last Stand. And he's got like a
game one, so.
He does a video game one, and he talked about Far Cry. And the way he put it was, it seems like a bunch of leftist journalists are reviewing a version of Far Cry that doesn't exist.
Right.
And yeah, based off some of the reviews I saw, I'd say that's pretty accurate. And a whole bunch of people were just pissed off at this game. Again, for not being about Trump. But it was never... like... Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think it's just him. I think there's also, like, I don't know if they were hoping that, you know, the cult, so to speak, or whatever, was going to be kind of a symbol of maybe pro-gun people, and they don't like that. So
or like the KKK or
Right.
racist or something.
Right. But then you're also gonna use guns to kill them, so it's kind of like, where's the double standard?
Yeah, and if you actually look into the history of cults, a lot of them are rather apolitical in the first place. So what were you expecting? But like, I think the biggest basis for this cult is probably David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in the 1993 incident in Waco.
Yeah, I'd say so.
At least that's what it seems like to me. And I haven't played it. You have.
It's awesome.
It does look pretty good, and I like the series. But
it's nothing like what they were wanting it to be. And I mean, if you want to be disappointed by that, okay, but it just seems kind of odd to the way they're reacting to it.
Yeah.
Where you're knocking review scores off of a game because the game doesn't align with your political beliefs. Like, I kind of think that's overstepping things.
Yeah, and I'm capable of playing video games that, as long as they're fun, I don't care if they align perfectly with my beliefs or not. I'm pretty libertarian, so a lot of games are not going to perfectly align with my beliefs to begin with. And that's fine.
It's a video game. Video games are escapism, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting down playing Far Cry, mowing down people and sticking animals on them, and you got a guy in a seaplane who flies around and can do bombing runs. Like, I can't do that in real life. That's why I'm going to the game to do it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to take you out of shit. So I don't want to sit there in the game and just constantly be reminded of what's going on in the world, and I shouldn't like this and I should like that.
Yeah, and I don't mind if video games get a little political, like Metal Gear Solid, possibly my favorite franchise of all time.
Well,
it's political as shit. Yeah, it lets you know that that while it might reflect some real world issues, it's a video game.
Yeah, and it's not beating you over. It's not beating you over the head with them. They create their own narrative. It's not. You're not turning the game on and just constantly being reminded of what's going on in the world today.
Yeah, and the Modern Warfare series did this too.
Yeah,
and it doesn't bother me. But hey, my shitty baseball team tied the game.
Mine's not doing bad so far this year, so we're good.
What?
The Red Sox are doing pretty good so far.
My Rangers are doing terrible. We're 4-10.
Well, they are the Rangers. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we have a long history of being awful before about 2009.
Well, I'm a Red Sox fan, so it's like I can't exactly talk.
Yeah, but also Cleveland, who had a very long history of being awful.
Well, they still are.
But if I'm correct in assuming that this game is specifically based around David Koresh, like he's the big inspiration for the Seed family and their cult. David Koresh was not a political figure, and he was not a racist. He was a piece of shit, but he was not a racist.
It's not like, having played it, I think there's like definitely some inspiration. I wouldn't say it's a huge inspiration. It's kind of its own thing. I mean, you can see where they kind of had fun with it and didn't really, take bits and pieces of this person or that person and put them into characters. I think it's kind of just stands on its own. It's a weird cult. The guy's an asshole, so you're gonna go in there and kill him.
Yeah, this controversy is coming so soon off the heels of a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. Have you heard of that one? the Kingdom Come Deliverance controversy is very, very simple. It takes place in the Middle Ages in, I want to say England, but don't quote me on that. So it's like swords and castles and lords and ladies and all that shit. And the controversy was because the entire game is white people, which is exactly what you would find if you were to travel back in time to the 1400s. It was all white people.
Not according to that Martin Lawrence movie, Black Knight.
Yeah, but that was a fucking comedy.
I'm just saying, he was there.
The whole point of that was that a black person in that time period in that part of the world would have been absurd.
Anybody listening, do whatever you can and find that movie and watch it, because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was the controversy, is it's all white people in a game set in a time period in a place that was all white people. And the social justice left got extra pissed off at the developer's response, because his response was basically, I don't care what you think. Right. This is historically accurate. We're sticking with it. Which is fine. He's right.
I mean, they have the right to make a game however they want to make it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're creating the game. If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much more difficult than that.
Is it really that hard? Do we have to push people to change their artistic vision of whatever the game they wanted to make just because you don't like some aspect of them, their personality, or their game?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to make it, and you don't have to play it. No one's telling people that they have to play every single game that comes out. Like, you have to buy it. No one's saying you have to buy and play this game. If you don't want to, don't.
Yeah. I'd like to play Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think it looks like a damn good RPG. And I want to play Far Cry 5. And
oh, it's so much fun.
It does look fun. And I like the series. Like a YouTuber called Crowbat recently did a video, and I don't think his goal was to shit on Far Cry 5, but his video kind of comes across that way, because it compares Far Cry 5 to Far Cry 2, and all the little details that Far Cry 2 had that aren't in Far Cry 5. So right. I think his goal was to just point out all the little details lost in the series over the years, and not say this game is shit.
I wouldn't say they lost detail. I think they refined the game. To me, when I'm playing Far Cry 5, I'm like, okay, this is what they were building up to. They nailed it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love Far Cry 2. I want to play 5.
I think you'd really like it. The setting is awesome.
It does. It does look awesome. I really want to play it. It's really pretty, too. Speaking of really pretty, God of War comes out soon, and boy, do I want that game. It's so goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah. You know, it seems to be getting some okay reviews.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Okay, so, your first topic?
Battle Royale games.
They're flooding the market, aren't they?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little worrisome, because they just announced it's Radical Heights.
Yeah.
The one from Cliffy B, or Cliff Blazinski, if he likes being called Cliffy B anymore, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always liked him as a developer, because Gears of War is one of my all-time favorite game series.
He did Gears of War, and before that he did Unreal, right?
Yeah, and then he did a really, really overlooked game called Bulletstorm, which is just so much fucking fun.
Yeah, I've heard Bulletstorm's great, but I've never played it.
But his company announced Radical Heights, and I don't know, it might have just went into beta on Steam.
I think it
I'm
did.
I'm not familiar at all with like Steam and PC stuff, but I was reading about it and I know it went. I was pretty sure it went already, or it was at least about to. And he just his game before that, which must be the Pizza Rolls because I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was like it was a take on Overwatch, which is
Lawbreakers.
Yeah, thank you. And it didn't do well at all. And it's kind of sucks because he seemed generally excited about it, you know.
Yeah.
Overwatch just blew the fuck up. And I'm not an Overwatch player, and I it's just not my type. But and then that doesn't do well, so now he's coming out with Radical Heights, which is a battle royal game, and I'm starting to get a little nervous that just because that's getting so popular, so many people are going to start. Well, this game didn't do good, so we got to put a battle royal game out. Like, how long until that just dies?
Yeah. It's all because of the massive success of PUBG and then Fortnite, which I think actually overtook PUBG recently.
I believe it did. Okay. I'm crawling towards my pizza rolls and like, not today, son of a bitch. Kick his ass. But anyway, yeah. So it's Fortnite. I played Fortnite and I liked it, but it just, I don't know, it seems so hollow.
Yeah. I mean, just start a rage storm online by going on to basically any video game forum and saying one of two things: PUBG is better than Fortnite, or Fortnite is better than PUBG, and instant fighting.
I think it's probably taken over the Apple versus Android. Like, hey, you can breathe safe now, guys. There's a new enemy. It's these fucking battle royale games.
Yeah.
I don't comment on forums. I would rather, I don't know, jump off a building, but...
Yeah, I have not commented on, like... It's funny, though, because that's how you and I met.
Right. I think just thinking about it, though, I mean, there was talk that, our Rockstar going to put a Battle Royale mode into Grand Theft Auto, is there going to be one in Far Cry Online? It's almost like, I think people are going to start demanding the mode included with the game, the games that are coming out, and then if they don't get it, they're going to be disappointed, and that could hurt sales.
Yeah, I also heard that, what's the name of the PUBG developer?
Player Unknown.
Oh. What I've heard is that they're getting really fucking sue happy, and I haven't seen confirmation on this, I don't know. But I've heard that they're getting really fucking sue happy, and they're going to start suing people that do certain things that PUBG does, like the shrinking size of the playing field, which they don't. Go ahead.
I don't really think they can win that lawsuit. I mean, good luck to them trying, but
yeah, I don't think so either. Didn't Mario Party do that kind of thing like 20 years ago?
Something like that. I just, that's not something that they should do. It's
not.
And focus on patches, make it better, get rid of the, overabundance of cheating going on in that game. Get it working right on the Xbox, because there's a shit ton of players on there. And don't worry about other games, using your formula, since it's not technically yours. Just refine your game and make it better.
Yeah, which I think, if there's truth to the suing rumor, I think it's probably just because they feel threatened by Fortnite.
Well, they should. I think in the long run, when we kind of look back on this, is like the year of the Battle Royale game, I think Fortnite will be the clear winner. I think, you could say PUBG started the craze, of course, but Fortnite, I mean, it just runs so much better. PUBG is patch after patch after patch, and they're still not caught up to it. And Fortnite's patching their game, so it runs, and it does a couple different things. There's like the building aspect to it, which I didn't really mess with, but
I heard President Trump plays Fortnite so he can build walls.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that joke.
Lucky I got pizza rolls over here.
I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get too incredibly political, but I couldn't resist a good joke. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think Fortnite's going to be the one that everybody remembers as the clear winner.
Yeah, and like the one from Cliff, I saw a gameplay of it, and like the style looks really cool, and it looks cool, but
it's got a very 80s aesthetic.
Yeah, it showed them like running through arcades and stuff, and towns. And I like that aspect. I thought that was pretty cool because, I guess, if I'm playing a game and I had to pick that setting, I like more than just desert map or jungle.
Yeah.
Like, let me run through shit. In PUBG and Fortnite, they have little building areas or whatnot, but I like that setting idea so much, and it looked like there's kind of almost like a little bit of a Tony Hawk vibe, where there's like a guy on like I know it's not a skateboard, but he's on a BMX jumping around and shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm so curious when the bottom of that's going to fall out. How long?
It will eventually, and then there'll be like one, maybe two that people still play after that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like the character-based, team-based shooter. There's 2 that people play now.
Yeah.
And that's shit. TF2, which still has an active user base after all these years.
Yeah, I don't know how that's happening.
It still gets regular updates, I think. And then, of course, Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm not an Overwatch guy. Play it, enjoy it, but it's just not my type of game.
9 times out of 10, if I'm playing a game, I'm playing single player.
Yeah, I'm not an online guy. I mean, I like Call of Duty and stuff. Like, I can sit down and if I know I've got an hour to kill or a half hour, I can jump in a couple matches and, shoot some people or whatever and have fun. But then that's kind of where it ends, But I mean, I do like them. I don't really like the team base, like the class base, like Overwatch with healers and all this. Like that, I don't really get into.
Yeah, about the only one of that I really got into was that multiplayer co-op mode in Resistance 2 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to say back in the day when I'm referring to the PlayStation 3, but it was still like a decade ago.
Yeah, it feels like it.
But yeah, it had different classes that you could play as. There were 3 classes. There was like a healing class, and a heavy class, and a support class. And you could level all 3 up, and you would like play throughout different levels and try to accomplish missions while getting attacked by waves. So it was kind of similar to what is the wave-based mode called, and it's so big in Gears.
Oh, Horde?
Yeah, it's kind of like that with objectives and like a finishing goal. And of course, the servers are offline now, so I can't go back and play that. But that's about the only one that I got into.
I didn't play it. I played Gears Horde mode, and I loved the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just, to the topic, whatever. I'm just kind of curious what when the fallout's going to be, and when that dies off. And I just hope that it doesn't start deterring people like Cliff Bleszinski, who's an awesome game developer. And obviously, games cost so much money to make, and they take so much time, so you don't want to have a flop. But I hope it doesn't turn into where these talented game developers have to jump on that trend just to stay relevant, I guess, to make money.
Yeah, speaking of flops, I fear that's what's going to become of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably, yeah.
Yeah, which really sucks, because from what I gather from people that have played it and have complained basically endlessly about it, is that it's not a complete game. It's largely lacking in content.
Yeah, I don't know if they announced it too early and they had to get it out, or the fact that, Microsoft needs exclusives, something fierce.
Yeah,
and they did it right too. That new, their Game Pass service where, you get their exclusives when they come out. Like, that's for $10 a month. That's brilliant. But to launch an incomplete game is not the best start.
Yeah. Imagine the kind of bank that Sony would be making right now if they did that. $10 a month gets you the latest PlayStation exclusives. I mean, people would be all over that for God of War. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I think with Sony, they have too many exclusives that it would cost them too much to do it. Microsoft doesn't have that many, so it's even moved.
Yeah. You want to move on to the next topic, or you want to stay on this one?
Yeah, no, we can move on. Yeah, I feel like I made my points and see how it goes and when the hype of all that stuff dies down.
Okay, once again, I don't want to get all political on here, too political on here, but a month or two ago we had some jackass in Florida enter a public school and shoot it up, and the government did what they always fucking do. They blamed video games. And it wasn't just Trump that said this. There were politicians on both sides saying this bullshit. And I am just so fucking sick of hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easy target. They can always go to it. So
yeah, video games, heavy music, rap, comic books, violent movies. Easy targets. And it's a scapegoat. Instead of looking at society and going, okay, what is it about society that produces people like this that makes them feel like they need to do things like this? What's wrong here? They go, oh, it's video games. Instead of thinking, And I am just so fucking sick to death of this. I was hoping that video games receiving protection as an art form by the Supreme Court a few years back would be the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that argument will ever end, personally.
I hope it does. Because it's a fucking stupid argument. It's always been a stupid argument. It's always going to be a stupid argument, but we can't avoid stupid arguments every single time this kind of thing happens, and it keeps us from ever accomplishing anything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, there was so much talk about it there for a little bit, where I know he was going to meet with, games media representatives.
He did.
And yeah, whatever the hell that was all about, whatever they did, who fucking knows. But it's an easy target, but at the same time, I think they also know that it's something that they can go to, and it's not going to affect the medium. They can say, well, we should look at in the video games, because there could be a correlation. But the media, the media for games, it's so monumentally huge that's not gonna fucking affect it.
Yeah, but at this point, the video game industry is even larger than the movie industry.
Well, yeah, look at Grand Theft Auto 6. There's reports that it's made more money than any book, movie, TV show, entertainment. I can't even remember the number of how much money that goddamn game has made, but it's unfucking real.
Yeah.
So it's just they can attack something that isn't going to take a hit from it. So it works out on their end, because they say, okay, well, here, we'll talk about games for a month, and we'll have meetings, and we'll say there could be a problem here, and then
we'll look like we're doing something.
God of War is going to come out, and it's going to sell a bajillion copies. It's going to be a massive success. You know, the next Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead, when those come out, are going to be humongous successes. So, it's annoying to hear about, but I know some people are like, oh no, what if something happens? What if they put regulations and they have people watching the games getting it? That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think they can at this point.
No.
I don't think you can restrict, like it's protected by the Constitution at this point, because the Supreme Court a few years back decided to recognize video games as an art form, which is a good thing. And it like, not every, just like the art world, not every single piece is going to exactly be high art, but it can obtain high art. Like, the first one that comes to mind is Shadow of the Colossus. Speaking of which, I really want that fucking remake of that game.
It looks awesome, yeah. Although I probably wouldn't play it. I don't know why. I want to own it, but I probably wouldn't play it, if that makes sense. I know it's stupid, but...
I've beaten the game several times on both the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3.
It's a great game.
It really is. And I need to go back and I need to actually play through The Last Guardian. I still need to do that.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah. I just started working through Fallout 3 again.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows, well, actually, I'm beating it a third time because I'm going to record my entire Let's Play.
Don't beat it too much. Don't beat it too much, you'll go blind.
Okay. I'm going to record the entire thing, and then I'm going to do a big video review of it for its 10th anniversary, which is October 28th.
Right.
So, I'm actually beating it with a purpose this time, but I don't really need an excuse to go back and play through Fallout 3. It's just really goddamn good.
I like New Vegas better, personally. That's just me, but I love Fallout 3.
I'm not trying to compare it to New Vegas.
Yeah,
They're both really goddamn good.
Yeah.
And they're both better than 4.
Yeah, I love 4. Like, I really love 4. I know people are like, oh, well, it didn't change the formula, and they didn't implement all this change. And to me, and this is gonna maybe sound goofy, but I want Fallout to be the AC/DC of video games. Like, when Fallout comes out, I want Fallout. I don't want big changes and all this dumb shit. Like, give me a world, give me monsters, give me bottle caps and laser guns, and let me fuck off.
Yeah, my big problem with it is how many of the RPG elements they stripped out of it. Because of that, it no longer feels like Fallout to me.
I still get a definite Fallout vibe. I guess, I don't know. I love that series so much, and then maybe part of it is the setting for me is so cool. I'm such a Boston nut, so that really kicks into me. So I mean, that's probably got something to do with it.
Anyway, your second topic?
Not a big one, but Spider-Man release date.
Oh yeah.
How fucking incredible does that look?
Oh my god. First of all, it's Insomniac. So, Insomniac has a long history of producing very, very good games.
Yeah.
So, my expectations for it are pretty much through the fucking roof.
One of my favorite games of all time is Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. And I would play that game for hours, and I would literally just be web slinging around. Not doing anything but web slinging. I cannot wait for this game.
Yeah, the web slinging in Spider-Man 2 was pretty goddamn awesome.
Yeah, and that's not coming out for anything else, is it?
No, it's a Sony exclusive.
Jesus Christ! So you have God of War coming out, what, a week or two, and then you announce Spider-Man and E3 around the corner. Like, holy shit!
Yeah, and they also have that Detroit game coming out this year as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about. I'm not big on that one. Maybe I'll change my mind when I start seeing more. But I know seeing the Spider-Man stuff. Like I've been thinking about that game nonstop. Like that's probably my most anticipated at the moment. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I'm not that big on Detroit either, but I know a lot of people are because it's another David Cage game.
Yeah. Like Being Human or whatever.
Yeah, like
I think that's one. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I'm trying to remember the name of the PlayStation 2 game that he did that fucking was awesome. It had one of the scariest most intense sequences I've ever played through in a game. It was
Was it Fahrenheit?
I think it was Fahrenheit. Indigo Prophecy. I think it was Fahrenheit in Europe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he did because it's Quantic Dream Studios, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's his.
He did Beyond Two Souls, and he did Heavy Rain.
I want to say he did Omicron, which was an awesome, weird
David Bowie, the video game.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Like on the Dreamcast, and I think maybe.
Yeah, he did do that one.
Like, oh my god, no one got that game, but it was so awesome.
Yeah, he did.
It's like
do
the
that
early.
one.
It's like Blade Runner, the game. And it was great.
With David Bowie.
Yeah, with Bowie.
I think he both played a character in the game and had like a band in the game.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wish they would make a new one. I know that's massive dreaming right there, but
yeah. But yeah, I think I've got the Steam version of that one.
Great. But yeah, like I mean, I guess just Spider-Man and be very excited. It looks incredible. The web sling. Game Informer has some. They have like how combat works, and then
I'm looking at the Game Informer now. He's on the cover of it.
Yeah, watch the little videos they put out, especially that web slinging one. Like, oh my god, does that look fun? Yeah,
it looks really, really cool, and I'm very excited about that fucking game.
Because it's September. They announced it for September, and I'm so fucking sick of winter because I'm in Ohio that I want to summer. But now I'm looking forward to September again.
Yeah, the fucking. I mean, they did. It's Insomniac. They did the Spyro trilogy on the PlayStation 1, which was goddamn awesome.
Yeah.
And is getting remade, and the remake looks goddamn awesome.
Yes, it does. More into that than I would Crash Bandicoot, just to be honest.
I was more into Crash Bandicoot, but I absolutely adore both.
Yeah, I'm a Spyro guy. But yeah, it looks awesome.
And I still need to get the remake of Crash.
Yeah.
They did Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 2, 3, and 4. Because they had continued the series on the PlayStation 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Most of the Ratchet and Clank games are fucking great.
They're pretty awesome. The PS4 one in particular is extremely amazing. It's the remake of the first one, but it's just incredible.
Yeah, the first one is it's fun for the time, but it has aged the most poor of the lot because they just added so much cool stuff in the second and third game that the first one feels rudimentary by comparison.
But playing the PS4 when you don't get that vibe. I mean, it looks like you're playing a Pixar movie. Like it looks insane. I think that it's so overlooked on how good that game looks. Yeah, and then they did. And you're not the biggest fan of this series, but I was. They did the Resistance trilogy on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, not a huge fan, but I mean, I know how big those games were. Yeah, especially the first one. That was like the first big hit for Sony's console, PlayStation 3. And it really kind of showed off very early on what the PlayStation 3 was capable of, because it had a ton of enemies on screen all at once,
without significant slowdown, far more than the PlayStation 2 was capable of. So it really kind of an early example of the kind of leap that we got between console generations there. And that's a long history of very, very good games dating back more than 20 years at this point.
Did they do the Infamous games?
That was Sucker Punch.
Oh, okay.
The Infamous is awesome. The Sucker Punch also did Sly Cooper, and then they did they did like one of the 3D platformer type games for the 64 as well.
Yeah. I always get the videos mixed up, sorry.
It's largely forgotten about, but it was kind of like Banjo-Kazooie, but you played a robot.
Oh, what the hell was the name of that game?
I own it and I couldn't tell you.
What system was it?
It was the Nintendo 64.
Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Yeah, that's it. That game is underrated. It's a 3D platformer in the same vein as the likes of Banjo-Kazooie, and Conker, and that kind of thing. And it was like I think it was Sucker Punch's first game.
Yeah,
it's kind of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was their first game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of an overlooked gem.
As so many 64 games are.
Yeah. Okay, the last thing I wanted to touch on was that we've been seeing a shitload of rumors about the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. It's starting.
Yeah, and keep in mind that we usually get these kind of rumors, start getting rumblings of what console is going to be out a good 2 years out.
Yeah, and E3 is coming up, so the console hype always starts with when E3 is coming up. Like, oh, will they announce? Will the floor open up and a new console will appear?
Yeah. Don't be surprised if Sony doesn't announce anything.
There's no way they're announcing a PlayStation 5 at the press conference.
Yeah, I think it would be a bad idea, especially since the PlayStation Pro has been out on store shelves for, what, a year and a half now?
Yeah, now's not the time to start talking about more consoles. Like, strap in, put out games. The PS4 has a long life ahead of it. Yeah. I don't think you see the PS5 this E3 or next E3, personally.
Yeah, next E3 at the earliest, and if they do it next E3, I would expect a 2020 release.
Yeah, and if they do, if, and I strongly word if they do it next year, I think it's more in passing.
Yeah. In fact, I wanted to talk about some of these rumors. Okay, rumor has it that dev kit type things are already in the hands of developers. But these are the very early versions of the dev kits where they basically build you a computer and go, here, the hardware is going to basically be this when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen those kind of dev kits before where it's just a tower computer.
Yeah, everyone's seen them.
If dev kits are in the hands of developers at all right now, that's what's going to be in their hands, and they're just going to now be like turning the things on, for God's sake. So
I would be surprised if they have dev kits. I would think maybe Sony has told them, like, gave them a rough estimate of when they'll receive dev kits, but I would be surprised if they actually have them now. And if so, it's got to be as early of a build as you can imagine.
Yeah. If they are just now getting dev kits, we're not seeing a PlayStation 5 till 2020, which is fine.
Right, yeah, I mean, we don't need one.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no need right now for a PlayStation 5. But anyway, go on.
Further rumors are I've heard two rumors: 16 gig of DDR6 RAM and 32 gig of DDR6 RAM. Which I'm not even sure at this point if you can buy DDR6 for your home PC. So that's top of the line right there.
Yeah. Will it be able to have graphics that resemble, maybe not actually look like it, but resemble the MotorStorm E3 demo?
I would think we would be up at that point by now.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck happened to the MotorStorm series? I thought that was a big deal.
That demo happened. It could never live up to that.
Yeah, I remembered MotorStorm coming out, and a lot of people seemed to enjoy it, though.
Yeah, it was fun, but there's still everybody made the same joke.
Yeah. Let's see. Other rumors are it's going to use the Ryzen, a Ryzen-style architecture for AMD's newest line of processors, the Ryzen. So, very, very high-end processor. A processor right now that goes for several $100s.
I mean, I don't really know tech specs at all, and I'm not a computer guy, but I can't imagine it's going to come out and not be as top of the line as possible, and that thing is going to be fucking expensive no matter what.
Yeah, another rumor, and this would be a big fucking mistake, because they've already done this once, and it was a big fucking mistake a decade ago, and that is that the price of this will be $600.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. It is going to be massively expensive.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You can't release it at $600. They tried that once. It didn't work. They weren't able to sell too many PlayStation 3s until they dropped the fucking price.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if it's so fucking powerful and and you're seeing cutting edge game graphics and worlds that we didn't think were possible, then maybe it could justify the price.
Yeah. And here's my big concern, though, is we already got, I think the mid, as good as the Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro might be, I think the mid generation update consoles might wind up being a mistake. Because with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, or whatever stupid name they're going to give it.
I want them to call it the next box and just get it over with.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, it's kind of dumb, but it's kind of ringing. Yeah.
But where do you go from, we already put out our 4K machines?
Oh, geez. Everything's going so fast, and by the time they come out, 5K, 6K. As long as they don't name it KKK, that might just...
Triple K.
Yeah, don't do that. Especially if it's the same color as the Xbox One S. Oh boy.
Get the black console and name it the Triple K.
Oh, the S was all white. It looks like a sheet. Solid white. It's a terrible joke. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I expect the PS5 whenever it does come out, and I hope it's not for a long time because I don't want to buy another one.
Yeah, I don't want to either. I want this generation to last at least 2 more years. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just saying is, I mean, it's going to be massively expensive. I hope that it's. I don't want it because when I see comparisons of PS4 and PS4 Pro, side by side comparisons, that's nowhere near enough to convince me I need to buy one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it is for some people, and I don't have a 4K TV. I want to upgrade to one, but even so, it's still not enough to where I'm like, I need to spend $400 for this incremental update. So
yeah.
The next console has to be, PS2 to PS3 or PS1 to PS2 level. It can't be this minor upgrade for $600. Like, this motherfucker needs to be disorientingly real,
Yeah. Every game needs to look Pixar levels of good. Well, maybe not every game, because I don't want every single game to have an absurdly ballooning
No, not like
cost.
Not that exact style, but I mean that level of polish, I think, is a better example.
Yeah, you get what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
And worded poorly.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Yeah, that level of polish and shine, yeah. So it'll be interesting. I definitely think, technology is advancing so quick that obviously we're going to get there at some point. So who knows? Maybe it'll be the PS5.
Yeah.
Just hopefully not for a while.
One more big selling point that they were talking about is a big push for VR.
Yeah.
Was one of the rumors in this particular console, which, again, VR has not, and I've said this in the past, VR has not taken off quite like everybody was convinced it would.
I know it hasn't, but I think it will. Because VR is still in that early adopter stage. I mean, there's people who are getting it and they're like, wow, this is like next gen. I mean, it's going to be something when they get it right. And I really think that the next series of consoles from, I think maybe Xbox too, I definitely think VR is going to have a pretty big impact on them.
Yeah. And
I'm dead wrong.
So, granted, Sony does have I think the best-selling VR system right now, because it's the most cost-effective, not necessarily the best, but apparently you get good quality for the cost.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I definitely want to pick one up,
But the biggest problem with VR is the barrier to entry. It's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know Sony's done some deals, and then they released like a slightly more refined version, but it's still expensive to get. Yeah.
And that's across the board. There is no cheap option for VR.
Right. Well, unless you get like, Google Cardboard and you stick your stupid ass phone and put that dumbass thing on your face.
Yeah.
And I mean, if someone likes doing that, then that's totally cool. I don't mean to be a dick, but it's just kind of like, it's such a budget solution that I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. As a whole, it's just way too expensive for the average consumer right now, and until they could lower that barrier for entry, it's not going to take off like they think it is.
Right.
At least that's what I think.
I think there needs to be more experiences for it too. I mean, I'm into VR for not really game experiences, but like, I want to be able to sit and put a VR headset on, and all of a sudden, I'm in a Metallica concert, but I don't have to stand next to a bunch of sweaty jackasses. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's where you can watch newer release movies and stuff like that, and performances, and you put the VR headset on, and hey, you're at E3, you can look around and all this, and that's where, to me, it's like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, there are.
There's some stuff, yeah.
There are actually VR like videos that you can watch.
Yeah,
I think the way it works is they use those 360 cameras.
I want more, and I want them to like refine it.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of get it to where it's really cutting edge, and I definitely want to pick one up for that stuff alone. I'm not so much for games. I think I like playing games. I'm old, so I like playing them how I like to play them.
Yeah. You and me both.
Right.
I mean, I'm not that much young. I'm 32, so
I'm near the grave. Like, I can see it. It's just across the street. I can see my name on
it. I don't think you're that much older than me.
I'm 35, so not too much.
Yeah, not that much older than me. Yeah.
Enough.
A few years.
Enough that I am your elder, so I'm the senior here in this conversation. But yeah, I mean, I like to sit down, hold a controller. I'm not gonna wave my arms around and stuff like that. And like, there's some stuff for the VR that looks really cool having the headset. I know there's you know, for Resident Evil you could play the whole game in VR.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Like, that's cool. It'd probably give me a heart attack, so I wouldn't do it. But I think they did a Fallout one, Skyrim I probably wouldn't, but Fallout would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a VR patch for there's a VR version of Doom. There's a VR patch for oh, what the fuck? Alien Isolation.
Yeah. I don't think I would want to play every game like that. You know, still my favorite way to do it is just sitting in a chair, staring at my TV, holding a controller.
Yeah, there's people are making VR patches for older games now, though.
But if you're telling me I can get the headset and I can go in and I can select, you know, what concert I want to attend, what show I want to see, you know, stuff like that, like, man, that's, to me, that's super cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
But yeah, I know I definitely think there'll be plenty of VR stuff. I don't think it's going to be a case of the Vita where Sony doesn't mention it at all. I mean, they already announced that VR games are coming to PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
they're getting
it's such a shame about the Vita.
Oh god, so great. I may have some news, so hold on. Bear with me.
Fucking wasted potential of the Vita.
Oh, breaking news. You ready?
What?
Shenmue 1 and 2 announced for release on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Coming this year. HD, fully remastered.
Oh, that's... Oh, 1 and 2? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that. That's really fucking cool.
Alright, so there we go. We broke some news here.
Yeah, you heard it there. Shenmue 1 and 2 headed to a console near you in high definition. I will buy the shit out of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting here like, holy shit, how do I get it? When do I get it? When do I get it?
You and me both, dude.
That's much better than the topic I was going to end with. So yeah, Shenmue.
Yeah. The last part of the rumor, and this one is the one that I told you one of the rumors contradicted some of the other ones, and this is it. One of the rumors said it's coming out later this year, which is fucking impossible. I don't even know what would make you think that it's coming out later this year. No way in hell.
Yeah, it's just... There's... Yeah. No. That's a pretty hilarious one. There's also it's not going to be backwards compatible to PS4, and I think that's...
Yeah, I've heard that rumor go both ways. Some people say it will have, like, PS4 games and they'll look and run better. Some people say it won't. So there's all kinds of rumors about this that I wouldn't put too incredibly much stock into it all. But it's fun to discuss.
Yeah, it's goofy. I definitely think it'll be backwards compatible.
Yeah, I understand why the PlayStation 4 isn't, because the architecture on the PlayStation 3 is so goddamn weird and hard to program for that getting games up and running on the PlayStation 4 is like fucking impossible or really, really hard to do. Anyway, go ahead.
That's pretty much all I had. Is, you know, I think they learned their lesson.
Yeah, you mentioned something about Shenmue 1 and 2 coming to consoles being better than your other last topic. So what was your... bonus.
I had a bonus in topic. Did you ever see the documentary King of Kong?
Yeah.
Alright, you know the asshole guy with long hair, Billy Mitchell?
Yeah.
The guy's like the perfect movie villain. He's such a fucking prick, right?
Yeah, from what I have heard, he actually plays it up as like a character, but...
Well, it turns out that the guy cheated and he was running it on the emulation software.
Yeah, he was running it on MAME, I think.
Yeah, he had all his records taken, and, and he's banned for life from submitting Donkey Kong records. I can't even talk about what the fuck happened.
Yeah, fucking Twin Galaxies banned him.
Yeah, as someone who's seen that movie like 100 times, I fucking died laughing when I read all this shit. I just pictured him with like the hair and the suit. It's like, motherfucker.
And the beard.
Oh, god damn it! So funny. That was my dumb bonus. End topic.
Yeah, I heard about that. And I wonder what the fuck Steve Wiebe had to say about that. So I haven't heard any.
He had to have fucking laughed, right?
Something like that.
Oh my god! Because is he now recognized as number one?
I don't know if he's recognized as number one,
but he's up.
Or if he's but I know he's recognized as the first one to break 1 million.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Because I know the records have been broken. Well since that movie, but I think now he is recognized as the first to break 1 million, and not movie villain Billy Mitchell, who that guy would have made an amazing pro wrestling manager, like a bad guy. Oh my god, he's great.
Yeah, I don't know thing one about fucking wrestling, so I'll just have to take your word for it.
Oh, trust me, he would have. I really hope that we get a sequel to that movie, the documentary now. Oh my god, I want to see that dude bitching about it.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. I can't end on anything funnier than that.
Well, my shitty baseball team lost. We are now 4-11. We're the worst.
Yeah, you have fun with that. Have a long season.
Yeah, it's going to be a very long season, and I knew it was going to be a long season going into this when we had the worst record in spring training.
Hopefully the Sox are in for a pretty good season.
Well, it looks like it so far. Also, beat the shit. They went on the field, beat the shit out of the Yankees the other day.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yep. Yep. Kick some ass. That's how it's done.
Which was fun to watch because, fuck the Yankees.
Man, there's nothing better than the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry.
Yeah. Well, I should end this podcast, though. So, thank you, everybody, for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. It would be greatly appreciated. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks, everybody, and goodbye.